All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to PALS TV. Just had a great segment from our Harrison County friends over in Cadiz, and now we're going to head to Columbus and join Art Outside the Lines for some drawing class and some art to kick off our afternoon. So Claire's going to be stepping in, helping out with some drawing for Bianca, and should be a great segment. So live from Columbus, we have Claire.
Hey guys, how are you? I apologize, my laptop might be a bit laggy today. The Wi-Fi doesn't seem to be connecting super well, but we're going to move on anyways. And I'm going to teach you guys how to draw mandalas today. Does anyone know what a mandala is? Let's see some hands. If you know what it is and you want to share, please raise your hand. If not, I can explain to you.
George, do you know what a mandala is?
I'm gonna unmute you.
So I don't know what that thing is. I haven't even heard the name. So what is that thing?
What is that thing? Okay, a mandala is like a circular pattern. I'll show you and you'll see one once we start drawing, but a lot of Tibetan monks use mandalas as a form of meditation and a form of art.
Oh yeah.
So the really cool thing about mandalas historically is not going to be the kind we make today, but Tibetan monks meditate while they make them, and they actually make them out of sand. So they have a bunch of different colored sand, and they use the sand to create little patterns, and they have little brushes, and they brush all the sand into place. And it's this beautiful circle, intricate design. And then at the end, what they do is they blow all of the sand away into the river, and they completely get rid of the beautiful art piece that they just spent days doing. Does anyone have an idea as to why they might do that? To just completely get rid of the art that they made and to send it into the river? George?
Maybe it's to because the art they made there is just what they like, and so they must think of, well, I'm trying to think of what it is to say.
Hey, that's okay. You're thinking. That's all that matters.
It's like sand art. When you mess up, you can always blow it into the river, and then you can try again, and it's just like if there's an undo button or something.
That's a good thought. So the reason that Tibetan monks do it is because they like to go on the idea of that nothing is permanent. So nothing lasts forever, and that they create this beautiful thing, and that they don't want to be attached to it, and that it's not permanent. So to show the impermanence of their art, they blow it into the river and let all of the beauty wash away with the river. So it's a really cool thing. If you guys want to learn more about like Tibetan monks and their mandalas, you do a quick Google search. I'm sure you could find lots of books, the library. So that's like another way you can research art, because not only is it important to make art, but it's important to research art, so where your ideas are coming from, or to use a little bit of history while you're making art. So today we're not going to use sand. I don't have colored sand. Maybe we'll do that later. But today I have some fun colored pens called Posca pens. And these are water-based markers. So they're a little bit different than markers you guys have probably used before. I think a lot of us use alcohol-based markers like a Sharpie. So I'm going to say these are a little bit more vibrant and workable. And I am going to go ahead and move my camera so that you guys can see what I'm drawing. So it'd be great if you wanted to follow along, because all you need today is a marker. It doesn't have to be the markers that I have, or colored pencils, crayons, really anything you can make a color mark with. So if you guys want to get something like that, and then I just have my sketchbook and just some regular paper. If you don't have a sketchbook, that's fine. Maybe you have printer paper. We can totally make do. I'm sure these are things you can find in your house. So if anybody wants to take a second to go get materials, I can give you a second. If not, and you just want to watch, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and set up my camera so you guys can see what I'm doing. All right. So can you see my paper? that a good angle there for everybody? Okay, cool. What color do you guys think I should start with? Should I just pick?
How about red?
Red, perfect. I have red. Okay. So the way I like to start is by finding the middle of the page. So to do that, you could be very particular and you could use a ruler, or you can just, use your eyeballs and freehand it. So I'm gonna kind of find where I think the middle of this side of the page is. Here, let me see if I can get you guys. I'll do it this way. There we go, that's better. Okay, so I'm gonna say the middle going this way is about here. And then the middle of this side is about here. And then I'm gonna pull my fingers and say, that looks like a good middle spot. And so what I do, I'm gonna have to shake up my markers a little bit, is I'm gonna move my finger and I'm just gonna draw a little circle like that in our starting point. And then from there, I just use my brain and I think of a bunch of different patterns. But what we wanna do to do a mandala is to stay symmetrical. Does anyone know what symmetrical means? Anyone? Symmetrical? Got a definition for me?
Symmetrical is like when one side is equal to the other in size and shape.
Perfect. So I like to make these little teardrop shapes. So it's kind of like a little upside down teardrop. So there's one. You can see that. And for me, it's easier to rotate my paper as I go, and that helps me stay symmetrical. So we have one teardrop facing that way. I'm going to rotate. I'm going to do another one. We have it facing that way. And again, rotate. Do one facing this way. Rotate. Do one facing that way. And I like to get real fancy and real intricate here. So you can see that there's room in those little teardrops for maybe even another little pattern. So I like to just do a little line like that inside. Now we got kind of a flower looking shape. I'll hold it a little closer to you guys. So that's just our starting point, really small. Is anybody doing this along with me, or are we all just watching today? Probably just watching. It'll be on YouTube later if you want to try.
Oh,
So now I think
we have a couple.
Oh, sorry.
We have a couple people doing it with you.
Awesome. I'm so excited to see what you guys have at the end. So I'm going to move on to a different color. And I think that I'm going to go with this pretty blue color. But again, you guys don't have to do the colors I'm doing. Do whatever colors you want. So I'm going to shake up my pen. And now I'm going to just do little bumps, like little scallop bumps along each side of our teardrops. So, and I try to use small, and I try not to press down on the paper too hard. And again, we want this to be symmetrical. So try to do the same amount of bumps on each side. And then I turn it. Keep going. And just turn it again. All the way around. Do some more. And we'll do our last little teardrop section. All right, I'll hold it up again so you guys can see what I did and where I'm at. So we're still pretty small, but hey, that's okay. The smaller you start, the more intricate you can make it sometimes. So that's where I am. And now I'm going to add some pink, shake up my marker. And so now that we have all of these nice areas in between here, I'm gonna go ahead and add some lines right there. So I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. Because ultimately, we want the end product to kind of like a big circle. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with that circle theme and draw a bigger line right there and connecting each point like that, okay? And I'm gonna do that on each end, as you can see, but it's easier if you turn it as you go. So turn that, do another one, and then one more to complete that circle. But as you see, we have a lot of open white space right here. And so what I like to do when I'm making mandalas is try to avoid as much open white space as possible so we can fill it with detail. Because at the end, the more detail you have, typically the more beautiful and intricate it is to look at. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna follow the line shape that I did at the top and add more like this. And then I'm gonna just do that to each side. All right, and rotate it. And then one more time. All right, I'm gonna show you where I'm at. So here we are. Everyone hanging in? So I think I'm gonna pick another color again, and I have this nice dark blue. Again, do whatever color you want. This is just the color palette I have right now. I'm gonna shake it up. And to complement the circle that we just started, I'm gonna make a bunch of little circles all along the outside. You know, you can make them any size you want. I'm gonna make mine somewhat small, but if you want them to take up some more space, go ahead and make them big. Whatever you want to do, just remember to try to keep it as symmetrical as you can. And let me know if I'm going too fast for anybody. I can always slow down. So I'm gonna just start at this point here. A little circle. There we go. And all the way around. Just keep going. And all of my circles are touching that pink line. It's a good place to start. That way it helps keep it even. So just keep moving around, keep rotating it as I go, because that's also going to help you stay symmetrical. And you want all of your circles to be roughly the same size or as close as you can get them. I know that that's super hard. So if they're not all perfect, that is okay. You know, it's a learning experience. I've been doing mandalas for a very long time, and at the end, mine aren't even always symmetrical. So if we don't get symmetrical today, that is quite okay. Still going around. All the way. Almost back to where we started. There we go. So now we have a nice little circle forming. That's what we have so far. And again, I see some white space in my circles, so I think that I'm gonna go ahead and add some detail in there. And I think to make it pop, I'm going to choose a different color. I'm gonna choose green. And I'm just gonna put a tiny little dot in the center of each circle we just made. So, little dot, kind of look like eyeballs. Go all the way around. And you don't have to do this in color either. You could totally do this in black and white if you just have a pen today. So I'm just moving around, adding my color, adding the little details. So it's really just about thinking about different shapes that you can add on to this, shapes that have symmetry and shapes that are going to add to that symmetry. So I am now going to do some more teardrops like we did at the beginning, except I'm going to put them all the way around. So I'm going to use another color again. Maybe I shouldn't use yellow if it's next to blue. We don't want Michigan colors. How about I do green, since we just added green dots. Start at this point that we have here and just make my way around.
George said it looks like a kaleidoscope.
Yeah, that's kind of like what they'll end up looking like at the end. That's a good comparison. I'm gonna keep moving around. These teardrop faces. All right, we're almost back. Start a circle. Add one more in there. All right, so this is where we at. It looks like a kind of like a sun shape, but also like George said, like a kaleidoscope. I really like that comparison. So as you see, I have a lot of white space in those little teardrop shapes that I just made. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some detail in there. So this can mean a lot of different things. There could be little dots, other little shapes. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, but that doesn't mean you have to do it. The cool part about mandalas is they can be very customized. Each part can be very different and unique. So I am going to go ahead and use that yellow I have now to put in some detail in these green areas. What I'm going to do today is just add more small teardrop shapes right inside of the big ones. And the other cool thing about doing this is if you have different markers that have like different thicknesses, you can use different line weights. So sometimes when I want to make a really intricate mandala that I can make super, super small, I might use like a thin point Sharpie. Today, my markers are a little bit thicker, so it's not going to have that insane detail that it might have with a smaller marker. But the thing about that too is you can also mix your line weights. So if you want to kind of give it a different type of look that kind of has a dimensional look, I would suggest using 2 or 3 different markers of different sizes. And it's easier to use those small markers to fill in these white areas to get your detail. And you can always go back in later and do that too if you don't have something like that with you right now, like I don't. That's the nice thing about art, is that your piece never truly has to be finished. You can always add more and you can always make something better, which is really neat. So that yellow is kind of light. I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see it, but it kind of makes the green pop a little bit. So now I'm going to go on the outsides of all of these teardrops like we did earlier and add a little shape. I think I might do some little circles. I think that I want to use that light blue color again. So let's start with that. All right, I'm going to start up here where this point is to keep it symmetrical. And I'm just going to little circles, not hard. Go around on the top, just keep going. That's all for that. And you're just going to do that on each one. And I really like these Posca pens. If you guys are ever looking for like marker recommendations, they almost feel like a paint pen the way they work. The color comes out like really fluid and nice, and it's not dry like a Sharpie is. I don't know if you can tell based on the camera here, but it has more of a glossy appearance when it comes out of a marker. And I got these at Blick. I think you can also get them different places online. You might be able to find them at Michael's as well. Just keep going around. I feel like the color palette we have going on right now is very summery. It's nice to make some art that maybe feels summery, makes you want to get outside or even do art outside. All right, we're almost back to where we started with our blue dots. Just gonna finish these up. All right. There we are, back at the beginning. So this is what I have so far, and it's cool that with these markers, the colors kind of blend together, so you can see where the blue and the green are touching, and they're kind of making a different color, which is a fun effect that you can do. So for anybody that's following along right now, and you want to share where you're at, take my camera down so I can see. Awesome. That looks great. George, are you still going?
I made a flower on the side.
That's beautiful, Caitlin.
Yeah.
Can you hold it a little closer to the camera? Oh my gosh, I love the color choices you have. It looks really floral. That looks so good.
Thank you.
So do we have anybody else going along with me? I think George looks like he's in an intense drawing. Alex J, what about you? I bet you're allowed to draw. You always say you're not allowed to do the segments. I think you can draw today, right? Oh, George, beautiful. Yours looks like a kaleidoscope too. You really got that symmetry down, dude. I'm surprised I'm not seeing any orange in there though. I thought you might add some of that.
George, I'm trying to unmute you, George.
Aren't you glad they're making me do other colors too?
Well, you don't have to use the same colors I'm using if you don't want to. You can use whatever colors you want. But if you want to follow my color palette, you can do that too.
I'm just getting
What was that?
creative. I'm getting creative.
Good. That's what I like to hear. All right. Do we have anybody else that was following? Just you two? I'm glad to see it though. I think this is the first segment I've done when somebody's following along. So I'm super happy about that. And I can't wait to see what your guys' look like at the end. So I'm going to put my camera back toward the drawing and we're going to keep going. I'm going to do a time check too.
Okay.
All right. There we go. Let's see what I'm doing. Let's try a little more. All right. Now, I haven't used pink in a while, so I think I'm going to use pink. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do another big teardrop shape right around these little blue dots that we made. Just kind of make them pop a little bit. All right, so here we go. And I feel like that blue complements the pink pretty nicely. We're just going to keep going around. All right, one more, and we're back to the beginning. Here we are. So, I'll show you again. That's what I have right now. And now I'm trying to look at what other shapes I might be able to add into this because we have a lot of circles going on. And so I'm seeing that we have this space right here, in between here. And that kind of looks like a triangle. So, and if we complete those little triangles, we're going to make another big circle, which is kind of weird to think about. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to make our little triangle shapes more apparent. And I'm going to go ahead and use red, since I haven't used red in a little bit. I'm going to just connect the tops like that and have a little bit of a curve. You can have kind of a straight line, just kind of slightly curved. And we're just going to go around and connect all the tops to each other. All the way around. It's forming a nice triangle shape for us. All right, and we're back to the beginning. So this is what I have now. And you can see that we have all these little blank triangle looking shapes. So what I'm going to do is fill those in with some detail. And I will show you what I'm going to do for that. You can do something slightly different. You can do what I'm doing, whatever you're feeling. And I'm going to go ahead and use my dark blue because I haven't used it in a little bit. And I'm going to do these little dashes like this. Just little lines. All right, and I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna do that on each one. See, I'm somebody that really likes that blue and pink combination. I think it looks really nice together. All right, I'm just gonna keep going. And don't forget that it is super helpful to rotate the paper as you go around. You don't have to do it, but it's one of those tips that really helps me out to keep things symmetrical. I'm just gonna keep going. Halfway around. All right, I'm back at the beginning again. I will show you what I have. So there we are with those little dashes. All right, and we still have white space, right? We have a good amount in those little triangles. So I'm going to keep adding some more detail. What I'm going to do is draw a little triangle right next to those dashes. I'm just going to go all the way around, do that in each one. So imagine how hard this is to keep symmetrical just with like a pen and paper. Think about doing this with sand. You can't like move the sand around, or you can't move a paper around if you're doing with sand because it's on the ground. So just sit and move around and get real active with it. And these mandalas that the monks make are huge. They can be like 6 feet big or even bigger. So we're just starting with baby steps today. And there's like many other ways to do mandalas too. I think it's easiest to get detail with marker, but I've also done it with paint before. And that is pretty fun too. All right, so we are back at the beginning. I'm gonna hold up what I have for you. So that's where we're at. And I am still noticing we have white space. So again, we're gonna do some more details on that white space. I think I'm gonna use a different color for the rest of my details in that area. You don't have to, but I just need to switch things up a little bit. So I'm gonna do more of these dashes on the triangles that we just made, just like the ones we did before, just like that. Just gonna keep going. All right, I'm back at the beginning again. Here's where we are. Anyone else want to share their progress so far? Let's see, Caitlin and George. Beautiful. I love the colors that you added, Caitlin. George, that really does look like a kaleidoscope. That's awesome. No one else has picked up a pen to join in. It's not too late. You can still go get a piece of paper and a pen and start where we are, but you don't have to. It's super fun and relaxing. So I'm proud of what you guys have so far, and I'm going to keep adding to mine. I'm going to go ahead and put the camera back up. All right, there we go. And I think I'm just going to keep going with my blue color. And now I'm going to add some details all along this outside. And I think I'm going to go ahead and stay with that theme of those teardrop shapes. So I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to make my teardrop shapes the size of these triangles right here. Like that. So they're going to be pretty big this time. So there's my starting one, if you see. I'm just going to work my way around. Going all the way around. All right, I think I have room for like 2 more teardrop shapes. One. And our last one. Awesome. So I'll go ahead and show you where we're at again. Kind of got that sun shape going on, but we do have all that white space again. Lots of little details we can fill in. So I've noticed I haven't used green in a while. Maybe go ahead and use a color that you haven't used in a little bit. So I'm going to use green. And I'm going to go ahead and make a bunch of little circles on the inside of these teardrop shapes. Just like that. Not too hard. These ones go faster too because you can do them real quick. And mandalas are a great way to practice patience because these take a long time since they're pretty small and intricate. These kind of look like little green peas. All right, we're about halfway around. Just keep chugging along, guys. You got it. All right, 2 more little teardrop shapes to go, and we're back to the beginning. Or at least on mine. You might not have the same amount as I do, and that's totally fine. All right, I'm back to the beginning. I'm gonna hold up and show you what I have. So that's where we are. We've gotten quite bigger with our design. Let's see, let me look at yours, Caitlin. That's awesome. Are you feeling proud of it? Good, I'm glad. It looks really great. Alex J likes it too. All right, we're gonna keep going. And I've also noticed that I haven't used yellow in a while. So we're gonna go ahead and do some more yellow. What I'm gonna do is add more teardrop shapes inside next to our green dots with yellow. So I'm gonna start at the top right here. Do that teardrop shape. And go all the way around. Just doing one for now. And so there's also other ways that you can incorporate mandalas into like other pieces of your art. So you don't always just have to draw a mandala. Like maybe you're drawing a sky, and instead of making like a regular sun, you want to make the sun a mandala, and you just want to use yellows and oranges. That'd be like a really cool way to add some detail to one of your pieces. And I'm sure you guys can think of other ways too. So I encourage you to try to step out of your comfort zone, and next time you're making a piece of art, maybe you add a little mandala detail somewhere where you guys have a circle pattern in your art. So I'm gonna hold it up again. And I like that the yellow brought some brightness into the piece. And we still have a little bit of white space. I don't think enough for a crazy amount of detail, but I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do next. So again, I think I'm gonna stay with my yellow. And I'm gonna start at the top again and just add a little line in the center of that teardrop shape. Just like that. And this should go quickly. We're just moving all the way around. All right. See, that was a quick one. That's where I'm at. So if you can see my full page, I'm getting kind of close to the edge. That's okay. I like to fill it up as much as I can. So now I really like that pink and blue combination. So I'm going to keep going with that. And I'm going to add some detail on the outside of these little scallop shapes, teardrop shapes. This time, I'm just going to do little dashes like that all the way around. So when you add all of these different shapes and different details, it kind of gives a texture to your mandala, which I think is a nice effect.
All right. Well, thank you, Claire. Very cool stuff. Loved it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Very cool.
Thank
Caitlin,
you.
I like yours too.
You up on time?
Yeah, we just ran out. Time flies when you're having fun.
Right, guys? Well, I hope that you feel like you learned a little bit of something today and that you're proud of the mandalas that you just made. Make sure to show them to your family and friends, and maybe you can teach somebody else how to make one.
Mandalas. All right. Well, thank you, Claire.
Thank you, guys.
Hopefully, we will see you soon here on PALS
Yep,
TV.
I'll for sure see you guys again next week.
All right. Okay, everyone. Well, that wraps up our AOTL segment here on PALS TV. We're going to head over to Heath to finish out our day. So come back and join us here in 15 minutes. And again, thanks, Claire, for the drawing class.
Of course. I'll see you guys later.